Dear friends, we are starting our service on this Christmas Eve with Advent Wreath Liturgy. So please join me in the bulletins you have boldly printed, or on the screen there will be boldly printed parts for the congregation. And it's still Advent, so we first start with lighting Advent candles. We light these candles as a sign of the coming light of Christ. Advent means coming. We are preparing ourselves for the days when the nations shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
The wolf shall dwell with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid.
The calf and the lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. The wilderness and the dry land shall be glad. The desert shall rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and singing.
The Lord will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son.
And shall name him Emmanuel. That means God is with us. Candles of hope, love, joy, and peace are lit. Let us walk in the light of the Lord. and welcome to Rutgers Presbyterian Church, Church of Open Commensality. That means inclusiveness. Our embrace is open to everyone, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, your orientation, or any other human distinction. You are welcomed here. This is the safe space to worship God. Welcome on this very cold evening. Let us make this space warm with true, heartfelt emotions, with joy of singing, praying, and listening to the message of our Lord. At Rutgers, we like the atmosphere and tradition of the festival of lessons and carols. Yet in our progressive church, which we are, we cannot deny certain misgivings, especially about the selection of the traditional biblical lessons, which indulge in outdated, conservative, and exclusivistic theology. Traditional biblical lessons, especially those from the Hebrew Bible, above that, are torn out of their context and twisted beyond recognition to fit the Christian dogmatic mold. Thus, a circle of Rutgers clergy decided some time ago now, I think like 3-4 years ago, or maybe more, to form and shape our own selection of 9 lessons, which we consider to be truer to the biblical theology and more appropriate for our celebration of Christmas. And so, dear beloved in Christ, let it be our care and delight to hear with fresh ears the treasured message of prophets and apostles. Let us read and mark in Holy Scriptures the loving desire of God from the first days of creation unto the glorious hope brought to the worlds ostracized, underprivileged, and oppressed by Jesus the Christ. But first, dear friends, let us pray. Let us pray for the needs of the world, for peace on earth and goodwill among all races, peoples, nations, and religions. Especially we pray for places around the world where there is violence and war, remembering Ukraine, Yemen, Iran, and many other conflicted places. Let us pray for unity among the people of God and well-being of the faithful in this, our own community of faith. We also lift up in our prayers those who were entrusted into our love and care, and of whom we know that they are in hospital, in home care, homebound, or preparing for medical procedures. We lift up those whom we know. We pray for Joel Cicero, Nancy Mackenzie, Zoe Strader. And in our silent prayers, we now offer our prayers for those known to us alone. And because they are especially close to God's heart, let us remember and renew our commitment to the poor and helpless, to homeless freezing on our streets, the cold, the hungry, and the oppressed. the refugees of wars and religious hatred, the sick and them that mourn, the lonely and the unloved, the aged and the little children. Lastly, let us remember before God all those who rejoice with us, but upon another shore, in a greater light. That multitude which no one can number, whose hope was in the divine peace and justice, with whom in the divine love we are unified forevermore. These prayers and praises let us humbly offer upon the throne of heaven, in the words which Christ himself had taught us and we learned from his lips, saying now together, Eternal Spirit, earth maker, pain bearer, life giver, source of all that is and that shall be, Father and Mother of us all, loving God in whom is heaven. May the hallowing of your name echo throughout the universe. May the way of your justice be followed by the peoples of the world. May your heavenly will be done by all created beings, and may your commonwealth of peace and freedom sustain our hope and come on earth. With the bread we need for today, feed us. In the hurts we absorb from one another, forgive us. In times of temptation and test, strengthen us. From trials that are too great to endure, spare us. From the grip of all that is evil, free us. For you reign in the glory and the power that is love, now and forever. Amen.
Now for the first lesson. This comes from John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. We read now the creation story from the Gospel of John about the universe being created in and through the Logos, divine purpose of love and light. First, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through the Word, and without it, not a thing came to be. The life itself came into being in the Word, and this life was the light of people, and this light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot grasp it.
Our second lesson is from Hosea 2:18 to 23. In our lesson, Prophet Hosea speaks about a covenant of love between God and God's people, a covenant of love anchored in righteousness and justice, a covenant encompassing animals and plants and sealed in peace and abundance for everyone. On that day, I will make a covenant with the wild animals, the birds of the air, and the creeping things of the ground, and I will abolish the bow, the sword, and war from the land, and I will make you rest in safety. And I will take you for my wife forever. I will take you for my wife in righteousness and in justice, in steadfast love and in mercy. I will take you for my wife in faithfulness, and you shall know the Lord. On that day I will answer, says the Lord. I will answer the heavens, and they shall answer the earth, and the earth shall answer the grain, the wine, and the oil, and they shall answer Jezreel, which means God plants. And I will sow them for myself in the land. And I will show love to those called not loved, and to those called not my people. I will say, you are my people, and they will say, you are our God.
This third lesson comes from Isaiah chapter 49, verses 15 through 17. In the third lesson, Prophet Isaiah presents us a radical image of God as a loving mother. All the dispossessed, exiled, and oppressed are powerfully reassured. They remain in the center of divine love and attention, just like a newborn baby with her mom. Can a mother forget her nursing child? Can she feel no love for the child she has borne? But even if that were possible, I would not forget you. See, I have written your name on the palms of my hands. Always in my mind is a picture of Jerusalem. Soon your descendants will come back, and all who are trying to destroy you will go away.
The fourth lesson is from Amos 5:14 through 15 and 21 through 24. In our fourth lesson, Prophet Amos reminds people that God is not interested in their religious rituals, holidays, and celebration, and prefers justice and righteousness in everyday living. True justice and righteousness are unstoppable and represent the true essence of life. Do what is good and run from evil so that you may live. Then the Lord of hosts will be your helper, just as you have claimed. Hate evil and love what is good. Turn your courts into true halls of justice. Perhaps even yet the Lord of hosts will have mercy on the remnant of God's people. I hate all your show and pretense, the hypocrisy of your religious festivals and solemn assemblies. I will not accept your burnt offerings and grain offerings. I won't even notice all your choice peace offerings. Away with your noisy hymns of praise. I will not listen to the music of your harps. Instead, I want to see a mighty flood of justice and an endless river of righteous living.
The fifth lesson is from Isaiah 35, 1 through 10. Those feeling lonely and abandoned in the deserts of their lives should listen to the prophet Isaiah and the song of blooming desert and path through the inhospitable perplexities of life. The desert and the dry land shall be glad. The wilderness will rejoice and blossom like the crocus. They will burst into bloom and rejoice with joy and singing. They will receive the glory of Lebanon, the splendor of Carmel and Sharon. They will see the Lord's glory, the splendor of our God. Strengthen the weak hands and support the unsteady knees. Say to those who are panicking, be strong, don't fear. Here's your God coming with vengeance. With divine retribution, God will come to save you. Then the eyes of the blind will be opened, the ears of the deaf will be cleared, then the lame will leap like the deer, and the tongue of the speechless will sing. Waters will spring up in the desert and streams in the wilderness. The burning sand will become a pool, and the thirsty ground fountains of water. The jackal's habitat, a pasture. Dry grasslands will become reeds and rushes. A highway will be there. It will be called the Holy Way. The unclean won't travel on it, but it will be for those walking on that way. Even fools won't get lost on it. No lion will be there, and no predator will go up on it. None of these will be there. Only the redeemed will walk on it. The Lord's ransomed ones will return and enter Zion with singing, with everlasting joy upon their heads. Happiness and joy will overwhelm them. Grief and groaning will flee away.
The sixth lesson is from Micah, chapter 4, verses 1 through 4. Now let us open our ears to the message of our sixth lesson, in which Prophet Micah reminds us of our need to learn how to settle differences in a peaceful manner. Micah's message is especially powerful when it highlights a divine desire for weapons to be turned into tools of sustenance and warmongering abandoned for sustainable living. Nowhere else these days do we see this need more profoundly than in the fields of Ukraine. May they be again turned into fertile fields, feeding humanity, and may invading tanks be replaced by plows and tractors. And in the days to come, the mountain of the Lord's house will be the highest of the mountains. It will be lifted above the hills, and peoples will stream to it. Many nations will go and say, "Come, let's go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of Jacob's God, so that God may teach us proper ways and we may walk in God's path." Then instruction will come from Zion and the Lord's word from Jerusalem. God will judge between the nations and settle disputes of mighty nations far away. They will beat their swords into plows and their spears into pruning tools. Nations will not take up sword against nation. They will no longer learn how to make war. All will sit underneath their own grapevines, under their own fig trees. There will be no one to terrify them, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken.
This next lesson comes from Luke 1:46 to 55. It is impossible to overstate the theological and prophetic importance of Magnificat. At the legendary moment of Jesus' conception, the evangelist Luke fuses in this song together the social justice message of Hebrew prophets with the message of the one yet unborn. Let us listen to Mary's powerful song. My soul glorifies you, my Lord, and my spirit rejoices in you, my God and Savior. You took notice of me, your lowly servant girl. Indeed, from now on, all generations will call me blessed, for you have done great things to me. Your name is holy indeed. From generation to generation, you extend mercy to your faithful people. You do tremendous things by your power, dispersing the proud together with their conceit, bringing down the rulers from their lofty thrones, lifting up the dejected in their place, feeding the hungry with all good things, throwing out the rich empty-handed, coming to the help of your servant people, remembering your promise of mercy, love, those promises you made to our ancestors of old, to Abraham and Sarah and all their children of every time.
The eighth lesson, the 1 John chapters 4, verses 16 through 21. In our eighth lesson, the author of the first epistle of John teaches us the essentials of divine love in its eternal as well as daily ramifications. God is love, and all who live in love live in God, and God lives in them. And as we live in God, our love grows more perfect. So we will not be afraid on the day of judgment, but we can face God with confidence because we live like Jesus here in this world. Such love has no fear, because perfect love expels all fear. If we are afraid, it is for fear of punishment, and this shows that we have not fully experienced God's perfect love. We love each other because God loved us first. If someone says, I love God, but hates a Christian brother or sister, that person is a liar. For if we don't love people we can see, how can we love God whom we cannot see? And God has given us this command: those who love God must also love their Christian brothers and sisters.
The ninth lesson comes from Revelation chapter 21, verses 22 through 26. Our final lesson is from the book of Revelation, foreseeing the glory, splendor, and peace of the new city of God, God's kingdom on earth. It will mean the end of all religion, because God will be intimately known and present with all and in all. I didn't see a temple in the city, because its temple is the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb. The city doesn't need the sun or the moon to shine on it, because God's glory is its light and its lamp is the Lamb. The nations will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. Its gates will never be shut by day, and there will be no night there. They will bring glory and honor of the nations into it.
Dear friends, every year at Advent and Christmas time, Presbyterians across the United States make a Christmas joy offering. This offering goes to help retired church workers, Presbyterian colleges, many of which support young people of color. We ask you to consider the Christmas Joy offering. And if you would like to make a contribution to Rutgers Presbyterian Church, please consider making a check to the church office, to reply online, or there is a box in the narthex for your contributions. May you have a blessed, safe Christmas.
Now, dear friends, we are prepared for lighting Christ candle. But before we proceed, I want to make sure that all those who are here and want to light their candles while we are singing Silent Night, they have the candle. And so I will be coming with a bag and make sure that everyone has a candle. Any candles here? Any candles? Do you have? Oh, you got them. I saw you coming without them. Yeah. One here. Oh, good. Yeah. In a choir. And still few more instructions. When we are lighting candles, we will be going through the central aisle and lighting those candles closest to the center. When you are lighting from one another, the person who has no light on a candle, please lean it this way, not the other way around, because you will have wax everywhere. Now, dear friends, please join me in our liturgy of light. If we say, surely the darkness shall fall on us, even the light shall be light about us.
Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you, O Lord.
Jesus Christ is the light of the world.
Light no darkness can overcome.
Let the light of your presence scatter the darkness.
And illumine your church.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now with these flickering lights in our hands, remembering the joy and tender gift of incarnation in Christ, I charge you to take this warm flame of divine love for humanity, for the world, for justice and peace among the peoples and nations, as we heard from prophets, and from the Song of Mary. I charge you, even though when we extinguish these candles, to take that gentle eye in your heart to this world, which is in a great need of that. And for that, let us now all hear and appropriate, take within and take with us out to this world the divine blessing. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. The Lord shower you with favor and give you peace. Hallelujah. Amen.